Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Game for August 2015. You'll notice that this is a little bit different from
2015
usual.
you said.
2015, I said 2015.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just want to make sure we're,
This
correct
isn't a
about
rebroadcast.
25th.
It's 2016, right?
Yeah, it's the year
All right.
2016 and August 25th.
Off to a great start,
Yes.
Hamish. Well done. No, but this is a different time for us, for good reason.
Yes.
This is a little bit different today because some things are shifting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Update 1.4, the next
Yes.
big thing on the menu, has changed. A lot of people would have thought that would be survival, but we have to change a few things.
Yeah.
Right?
Turns out
Okay.
it's not.
It's not. Okay. So here's the plan. We want to get as much information out to you as quickly as possible. We'll talk about it a little bit more. But I know you guys are here. You want to know what's going on. We should get. I think we should get all that information out right now on the table,
Yes.
and then we can talk about what that really means. So update 1.4 is coming in October.
In October. Yes.
Survival will be out later in the year.
Survival will be out later, exactly. So that's the big thing. We are actually separating Survival from Update 1.4. They should have been released in the same time. We are actually going to push Survival and have just Update 1.4 come out in October.
Yes. And I mean, this is important. Last week, you would have remembered that we talked about a lot of the issues that are in the game, of which there are many, you guys know.
Yep.
We can't wait any longer to
Yep.
take care of those, right? We need to get those things sorted before we release new content.
Yes.
We don't want that new content to have those issues.
Yep.
And we don't want the core game that
Yep.
we have right now to have those issues,
Yep.
because we want to get back to making the Division really fun in the end game experience, because and we've talked about this a lot on the stream, 1 to 30 feels great.
It does.
And then you hit 30 and something changes. We need to fix that, and obviously a few other things as well. There's bugs, there's some quality of life things. We'll talk about those in a second. But just so you know, to reiterate, the next patch, the next update is going to be update 1.4, which will fix a lot of the core issues in the game.
Yeah. So
Probably not all, just for expectations, but we want to focus on really improving the core of the game before we move on to new content, which would be survival, the next one.
Exactly.
That's clear, right?
That's pretty clear, yeah.
Yeah.
Update 1.4, core experience, bug fixing, balancing, quality of life. And then once everything is actually better, then survival.
Okay, chat seems to, a lot of people in chat seem to think that's a good idea. I know, and a lot of people have been saying that to us recently, and I know that a lot of internal conversations around this topic have been, happening over the past few months, and we need to do it. It has to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy.
Yeah.
From a personal.
I see in the chat there's discussion about October. Yeah, I know that the expectation was on September on survival. We want to take the time to actually make this right. That's also the thing. We don't want to commit to dates and just like release something that is not of quality or as good as a quality as we would want it to be. So we're going to take the time until October to work only on, again, core experience, bug fixing, balancing, and everything.
Exactly.
And
I just sorry, you. The chat's going really quick. But Marky was saying that like they want it now. I totally agree. Like in an ideal world, all of the fixes that we're working on could come right now. Yeah. But we need to focus on making them good. That's we can't rush these things out. Just because I want them now too.
And
but
also, and also the thing is that there have been things that we've addressed with trying to, in terms of balancing mostly, and even in bug fixing, that we've tried to address as fast as possible, which means that we had some tweaks, some balancing tweaks, some small bug fixes here and there that were not always addressing the big picture. No, that's what we want to do. We want to look at the big picture, the whole experience, the entire fun aspect of the game, and all these kind of things. We don't want to try to go too fast and actually just fix the small things here and there, or the small symptoms. We actually want to fix the whole system.
Exactly, because I mean, what we've done in the past, like you said before, is a few tweaks to a few little things. But and I think you guys agree, and I know that you do. The issues that we have right now are not with one like little individual packets of issues, right? And you can't just go and fix one, fix another one.
Yep.
We need to focus on how those all interact. For example, enemy scaling and how it affects ammo and how it affects everything, right? Especially at level 35 when things have become inflated to the point where the system doesn't work. Yeah. Not just the one feature, but the system.
One very quick thing, I see people saying, does that mean it's going to be November for PS4? No, update 1.4 will be a free update, and it will be releasing at the same time for everyone.
Yeah, free update.
Free update.
All right,
yeah.
Say it again. Free update 1.4 in October for everyone
Yes.
on all platforms at the same time. All right? That's clear, I think.
October is too far. Yeah.
Oh, I know, right? I know. But there are some things in that, now that we've put it all on the table, I think, that are important for this process. And I've kind of alluded to this fact on the stream a lot, that we've really wanted to have a conversation with everyone about how we move through this process, because it is a process, right? We can't just show up on Monday, make all the fixes, and deploy it on Thursday. It's going to be longer than that, and it's going to be a lot better than that. And we want people to be involved in that process. And we'll talk a little bit about this in a moment, but I also wanted to say, and I talked about this earlier with you, the conversation since last week's State of the Game has been so constructive and awesome, so thank you, everyone in the community, for taking part in that. It's been cool. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a sec.
So just also, I want to reiterate on the fact that, because I see a lot of people saying, are they going to nerf this, are they going to nerf that, or are they going to buff this or that? Again, the point of 1.4 is going to be to address, again, the big picture. So it's not just going to be about nerfing Sentry or nerfing shotguns, because this is actually the meta right now, and then we end up with another meta. The point of 1.4 is actually to address the overall experience, the entire experience. So there's going to be a lot of tweaks here and there, not just tweaks, but complete, like, even in some cases, almost redesign of some of our features to actually really address the whole experience for everyone. So it's going to be much more than just like buff and nerfs here and there. It's going to be a complete change.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited about that. We and like I said, we this is going to take weeks, but over those weeks, we'll make as much of that information as available to you as possible, and we have a few ways of doing that. So on update 1.4, obviously we have a lot of bug fixes to do. There's the skills. There are things that shouldn't work like they do. Obviously, mobile covers still like in the background doing weird things, and you guys know about smart cover being destroyed. Like these bugs that shouldn't exist. So we have to spend time on those things, and while they may not be, not all of them, game breaking, they're just annoying, and they shouldn't be in there, right?
It's all about the experience again. It's just like all these small things that have been, lingering on the game for a while, and that you guys have been reporting for ages also. We want to really improve the experience. So all the small things that are very frustrating when you're playing and you're like, you're trying to start your heal and then your heal actually has a delay and you die because of that. Or
and then none of your skills work.
Or you put your smart cover and then suddenly like your friend actually destroys it by accident. All this kind of stuff, all the small bugs, all the small things like that, but are very frustrating with your experience. We want to focus on this as much as possible.
And obviously, similarly with some talents, One is None still doing weird stuff. Not like it was before, but it's still not great. And then performance is something that we want to look at. There are some
performance
some time
issue.
we can put
I've
into
seen
those
somebody
things.
in the chat was asking about the
Xbox
stutter,
stuttering,
for example. Yeah, all these kind of things also. This is also part of the experience. So it's all the things that come in the way of you actually enjoying the game. We are going to try to fix as many of them as we can. We'll talk about that later. We'll work with you on making sure to have the correct priorities. But yeah, it's all focus on the experience.
Someone said, so what are you actually doing? Well, we're going to have to go into that information with people other than ourselves, because those are very, very complex topics to go over. And they're going to be long discussions. So I could imagine, I can see a future where future State of the Games will last a lot longer. But today, we're just focusing on getting that news out to you, that this is what's changing, making sure that you know what to expect, when to expect it, and a couple other things in there as well.
I still see a lot of people saying October is too late. I think, again, it's better if hopefully I think you would agree that it's better if we take the time to make it right, rather than rushing something that would, again, not benefit to the long term. So we want to take the time to do it. So.
Yeah, which fixes will be out today? This isn't a today thing.
Nope.
Earlier today, there was a maintenance in which they fixed the Alpha Bridge with the sidearm shotgun and those things. But again, what we're talking about now is a future overhaul of a lot of the in-game systems that are making the game not fun after level 30, and other stuff, and performance and bugs and all these sorts of things. So this is going to be different from your regular weekly patch fixes and that sort of stuff. All right, what else have we got in here? So, like I mentioned, we talked a bit about bugs and those sorts of things, but balancing is really important. And we've been having a
Yes.
lot of conversations internally and looking at exactly how the scaling happens pre-30 and post-30.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you guys those things as well. But we all agree it's not right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
those are some of the things we'll be definitely looking at. Loot as well.
Yeah.
Making it more relevant to you,
Mm.
making it actually accessible in all places. I think people are going to probably in 30 seconds say Lone Stars and HVTs and all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And
Just
blind fire crest.
just one thing regarding the time to kill and all of that. That's again a case of this is not something we're going to approach by saying, okay, we need to nerf the NPCs by or the health of the NPCs by 20% and their damage by 20% or something like that. Again, that's a big picture thing. So what we're looking at is not doing a balancing that is going to be like taking this detail and that detail and trying to fix them individually. We're looking at a balancing which is a complete overhaul of the whole NPC or actually difficulty scaling of the end game. So it's a big change.
Yeah, someone was saying you guys already made it too easy to get loot. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm saying that there's a lot of frustration within the community as to having to do specific things to get loot and it being just basically not ending up as a fun in-game experience. People don't, if they want to run underground, but they don't want blind or firecrest or these sorts of things, they feel a bit hard done by. So we need to work on that.
Yeah, it's all about making the loot more relevant again. It's also about, just like making sure that when you're going to do an activity that has specific difficulty, you're going to get loot that is relevant to this difficulty and that is going to allow you to upgrade and actually go to another difficulty. So trying to avoid the situation that you're in right now where you're actually, you need gear, like to do challenge mode, you will need gear that you actually drop in challenge mode. So it's like,
exactly, and that made that
how do I get it?
Doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
So the next thing I have on the list here, I'm maybe more excited about it than I should be, but I don't think so. Quality of life fixes.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we've been doing weekly things and we have critical bugs that need fixing, things that would just increase the quality of life, they fall by the wayside because there are more critical things. What doing a patch like this allows us to do is focus on things that we haven't had time to look at, which the community have been talking about since release, basically. Some of the ones and this is just a small list of some of the ones that we will be tackling in this update 1.4. Weapon skins taking up inventory space. Not happening anymore. That's going to be great. I mean, I don't know why you're not excited, man. Come on.
It's good. I mean, and that's one of these things that have been asked since pretty much, even the alpha and the beta and the launch. And this is something we've always wanted to do. We've been looking at, and again, having the time to work on these things, we are also going to put a lot of quality of life.
Yeah.
Like
All right. Chat seems happy about that. And someone going back to someone's comment, haven't had time. It's not that we haven't had time to fix these things. They just have been more critical things.
Yeah.
So on a week-to-week basis, when we've been doing it the way that we've been doing it, it seems like you have to focus on that one issue that week, and then you can't put time on these other things. I think you get it.
Yeah.
Craft all button.
Yes.
Small thing, but we're getting it. You can do the last two because I don't want to hog all the good news. Not all the good news.
What we're looking at, I mean, it's just examples. Obviously, we're going to do more than that. And I see people saying, but this is not critical. It's not critical. It's all about experience. And also, we have people that work on bugs and people that work on other things. So it doesn't like adding quality of life doesn't mean we're going to fix less bugs. But it's also about improving the experience and, like doing some of the things that you guys have been asking us for months. So a few other examples. Buyback option.
Yeah, I've accidentally sold things, and I've done it on stream. And I didn't say anything because I didn't think people noticed, but I sold some really really good stuff, and I felt so embarrassed. I didn't do it. Someone said, "What the fuck is a craft all button?" So right now, when you're crafting, you're changing 3 division tech into some high-end electronics.
Converting it,
it's you have to do it individually each time. Now you won't need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but anyone who's been around for the whole game is like, oh my god, thank you.
So buyback, I hope this one makes you happy. It makes me happy. I remember also selling some stuff on stream or also off stream that I definitely do regret selling. And a final one, again, that's not the complete list. There's going to be more, but the final one that makes us very happy, running in the base of operations terminal. Or between the base of operation and the terminal.
Yeah. So now you won't have to do the walk. It's a beautiful walk. Don't get me wrong. But walking from the terminal all the way down or all the way up between the base of operations, that's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And again, these are just a few small things. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
Eric's just like, yes.
It's it's just examples, okay? It's just examples of what we mean when we say quality of life improvement.
Yeah.
It's all these small things that also they are not bugs, but they're annoying. They are missing in the game, and like it's something when it happens to you, you're like, oh, really? We want to fix that. So
yeah, exactly. So there's again, this is just a small list. We are going to give you as much information as we can throughout this whole process, and there's a lot more. This is bigger than what we can cover right now.
Oh yeah.
How are we doing? We actually don't have any time limit, so I'm not even gonna like try and keep to that. But
no, there's
we'll try and answer as many of your questions as we possibly can. Again, there's a lot of questions in there. I will reiterate that we will cover a lot of things in this patch.
Yeah.
We can't cover everything in the world. Like, do you know? Like, obviously, there's people like guild system, clan system, like. We'll tell you what we can include in this update as much as we can.
Yeah, and also one thing that is important to understand is that improving the experience is going to be the main focus of update 1.4, but it's not going to end there. So there is a lot of things that we want to do to improve your experience. A lot of it will actually be done in update 1.4, but if it doesn't, it's still going to remain a focus for the next updates. So it's not because we released update 1.4 and maybe we didn't entirely fix something specific in terms of balancing that we are not going to address it later. So it's gonna be an ongoing process with all the other updates that come after that. So it starts with update 1.4, and we are hoping to make a very big pass on the most pressing issues, and then we're going to be keeping that as a focus for the following updates.
Yeah, a lot of the questions that I see flying past relate to adding new content. That's not what this is. This is making the content that we have way better.
Yeah.
That's how you should think of it. Then we have survival, which is later. So to be clear, 1.4, update 1.4, coming in October, patch that we're talking about right now, and then survival will be coming after that. All right. So I think we should talk more about what we want to do in the coming weeks, and this is quite soon.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it. We said, it'd be great if you guys could join us in the conversations on the forums, on Reddit, in Twitch chat like you're doing right now. But we want to bring some people here to help us with update 1.4, so we can get your eyes on it along with ours to do that. Would you like to do that? Is my question. I hope so. Yeah,
I'm doing the chat.
Yannick's my hype man.
Yeah.
But so we will be tomorrow. There's going to be an article up on the website with a bit more information, but we will be taking submissions from the community for people who want to come here to Massive in Malmö, Sweden. So I think it's going to be really cool. What we're going to do is we'll open the submissions tomorrow, I guess around this time tomorrow, about 24 hours from now.
I don't know, tomorrow.
But I'll be on the stream, we'll talk more about that. But
it doesn't matter, because it's not a matter of being the first one to register anyway.
So the divisiongame.com in the news section, I guess, is going to have an article, and there's going to be a link to a survey in there. Sorry, there's a comment in there. I'll get to in a sec. There's going to be a link to a survey in there. We need an application from people who are interested, why you'd be helpful to this whole process. There's a lot of other questions in there. But we want to bring a few people over here and help us test some things. Before I forget, all expenses paid, yes.
Yes, all expenses
we'll pay for it.
Of course.
But someone was asking, like, reserved for YouTubers, I bet. We'll be inviting, some other people from the community who people have been saying, you should bring this guy, you should bring this guy.
Yeah.
We will bring some people like that, but we also want to make sure that you guys know that this isn't exclusively for people. This isn't a marketing opportunity for us. This is a way to make the game better with you guys. There isn't, people say, a lot of, shouting out names of people to bring. But that's not your barrier to entry. I want to be very, very clear. The YouTubers, Twitch people, podcast people, they don't have a monopoly on good ideas.
No.
And they do have them. But we want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity as well.
Yeah.
All right?
Exactly. So it's as much bringing people that but actually have an opinion about the game and have good ideas and are like willing to talk about it in a constructive manner. It can be negative feedback, that's fine. Just have to be constructive and be willing to actually have discussions here at Massive with other people, other players, but also, of course, with the dev team on very specific topic. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a YouTuber or not. That you can have an opinion anyway.
Exactly.
You probably do have an opinion.
I know that they do. Look at it. There's a lot of opinions going.
So yeah,
really
we'll provide more information on that tomorrow on how we're going to do it. But yeah, basically we'll have a registration form where you can just confirm that you're 18, confirm that you actually can travel, confirm that you understand that this is in Malmö, Sweden.
Yeah, if you don't want to come to Sweden, don't sign up.
And then basically a few lines to explain what are your views on the state of the game, on the current state of the game, and by that we mean the state of the actual game, not the live stream we're doing now. Although we would love to hear your thought about that too.
Yeah, of course.
And then also why you would actually be a good candidate.
Do we stay at Hamish's house? Probably not.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows what can happen?
It might get weird, but I'm cool with that.
It might get weird.
I derailed. I'm sorry. But the other side of that, the feedback. How can everyone else get involved?
So yeah, that's the thing. We want to open the discussion to more than just that. This is one example of what we're going to do, but we're going to do much more than that because we want to make sure to listen to all of you guys and not just the ones we're going to invite here. We're going to invite some people here because it's good to have a direct discussion, a direct conversation with people that really play the game heavily and that have big opinions. But also we want to open the discussion to everyone. So we're going to open a new section in the forums, in the Division forums, that's called Agent Intel, where we are actually going to create discussions and create topics, and we're going to ask you for your feedback on these specific topics. Exactly. So it can be bug related, it can be balancing related, it can be
general experience,
any kind of discussion. For example, now we are actually going to open one, and when I say now, it doesn't.
Not right now.
It's not a marketing now. Like no, we're opening it, and you go there, it's open. Maybe it's open
general
already. I don't know. But the first one you'll find there when you go to this section will be about bugs. What we're asking you is to give us your top 10 most annoying bugs in the game right now. You start the game, you play the game. What are the top 10 bugs that you think are the most annoying? And we're going to take this list of the top 10 bugs of everyone, put that all together, and make sure that this is how we're going to define our priorities. And then we'll give you feedback on how we are actually fixing them.
Exactly.
This is one first example of how we're going to use this forum section, this Agent Intel. So it's going to open today, later today, or maybe it's open already, I don't know. This is the first thread. We will have more threads there where we will actually be asking you for, again, feedback on balancing, but also have some kind of thinking process together where we'll ask you about theory crafting, for example, how do you build your characters in this or that specific situation, so we can actually have a complete understanding of how you guys actually play the game and what is your experience.
Because I mean,
sorry, some of you would probably say, yeah, but we've been talking about it for ages, and like what's the meta, and how I would build my character if I want to go to the PvP or whatever. And yes, we do, but we don't want to work on the assumptions. So we really want to take the time to ask you guys to either confirm what we think we already know, or maybe surprise us.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like we have data, we have analytics, we have our own experiences. We, again, like I said, we play the game like you guys do, but we want to not make. Well, we don't want to make assumptions. So that's why it's important to include you guys in all of this. The thing before we go, and I'm not saying that we're running off just yet because I think it's cool to stick around and have a conversation. There was like I said earlier, there were a bunch of really, really good threads on Reddit and the forums, and I wanted to acknowledge the people who did those because we've seen what you've done, and they're really, really cool. There was one yesterday from 11 Finger Freak, which was an outlandish an idea about an ultimate companion follower, basically having April Kelleher follow you around the city and be your NPC ally, which I really liked. I mean, I'm not saying these are the kind of things that we'll get into the game right now, but like I like the way you're thinking. That's awesome. Louis Pard has one about what about community goals. That was awesome. This one was great. Boring, no salt. Actual ideas to improve the economics of the game from my middle name Danger. I like that. There was a lot of good stuff in there. And this one was really good. The Division 2.0, a comparison between successful RPGs and the Division from Skepo.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. I like how you broke that down. The tables helped my my OCD. Thank you. Suggestions to improve the game from Red Andy K. That was awesome. And my 2 cents to the discussion from Space Bonks. Thank you very much. We've seen those. All those things have been passed on. And please continue to do that throughout this whole process.
More than that. 2 comments, because I've seen some comments in the chat based on what I said. People say, why don't you just play the game and you will see what's wrong with it? We do play the game, and we have our own opinion of what's wrong with the game, but that doesn't mean we don't want to hear what's your opinion, because, again, worst case, it confirms what we already know, and maybe we'll actually learn some things that we assumed were not what you guys were experiencing or whatever. So I don't think we don't have anything to lose by actually asking you first, because this is, if we think about it all together, we're going to get better results than just us being like, no, this is how it should be, and this is, they probably will think that, or they probably play this way or that way.
No, I mean, we know what's happening. I mean, people are like, I've been leveling characters right now, because that's the content I'm enjoying in the current way the game is. I don't want to go into the dark zone, to be honest. It's right now.
But we all have different experiences. Second comment, I've seen somebody saying, I prefer Reddit to the forums. Yes, this Agent Intel is actually going to happen on the official forums, but we're working with the guys from Reddit. We're working with Joker to actually have some of it duplicated on Reddit, because some of these things we're going to do are going to be surveys as well. So they will actually, you will just have a link. So it doesn't matter if you click on the link from the forums or Reddit. So we will share the link with the Reddit guys. So it's also shared there. But when it comes to actual discussions, we would like to have the feedback gathered on the forums, because it makes it easier for us to follow if everything is gathered in one topic. But we will, of course, be also keeping an eye on the discussions that are happening in Reddit. And I will assume that a lot of it will be duplicated on Reddit, so we will have a look at it, of course. Preferably the forums, but if you prefer to use Reddit, that's fine. We'll also read the feedback there. We'll find it.
We'll definitely find it. While I'm thinking about it, Weezer, who's always in chat, it's his 40th birthday today. Happy birthday, man.
Oh.
Happy birthday. I didn't want to forget.
Oh, and I wanted to give an answer to Arocantos. Arocantos, if you're still in the chat, we were chatting quickly before we started the stream, and you were asking me if we knew about the bug with the 4-screen. Don't know how to describe it. The 4-screen split, when you're actually using the graphics scaling, there is an option to scale your graphics. Whatever. Yeah. And when you use that, your screen is going to be split in 4 screens, whatever.
Not many people.
I don't find words how to explain it, because I experienced it myself. But yes, we are aware of this one. Just to answer you, because I couldn't answer when we were in the chat.
Cool. It's Savannah's birthday too. All right, happy birthday. It's everyone's birthday.
Okay, whose birthday is it now?
It's my birthday in 2 weeks.
That doesn't count. That's in 2 weeks.
Come on. All right.
We want to give happy birthdays to people.
Yeah. All right. It's everyone's birthday. Okay, for people who are just joining us now, I mean, we should reiterate. Update 1.4 coming in October is not survival. Survival will be the next update after we do a patch that focuses on a lot of the core issues with the game. Bugs, quality of life, systems. It's going to be great.
I see a lot of mine for the birthdays now. Sorry, it's too fast. We can't see Happy birthday, everybody whose birthday it is today. Yes. Just to answer also a question there was in the chat when we talked. So we said update 1.4 October. Survival after that. Survival is going to be between update 1.4 and before the end of the calendar year. We don't have anything more precise right now, because first we want to make sure we get 1.4 right. And then we will work on survival, and we will make sure that we get also survival right before we commit to a release date. So that's why we're keeping it vague. And Last Stand, people were asking about Last Stand. Last Stand is going to be, right now we're looking at early 2017.
Yes. All right. Is Last Stand also being delayed? Yes, you just answered that.
Yes.
That's great. Again, we want to make sure that everything we do focuses on making things better. We, again, have to do this to make the game better. It's the focus for us right now.
Again, sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Somebody saying nothing's going to be fixed until October. Yes, we will still have our weekly maintenances and weekly bug fixing. There will be some of the bug fixing that is going to be done during the weekly maintenances, but don't expect anything drastic until October.
Yes, well put. All right, we'll stick around for a few more minutes just to take a few more questions. Again, a lot of people